So are you thinking about starting a podcast this year? Of course you are. Everybody is. Now, if I had no gear, no experience, these are the exact things that I would get in order to start a podcast and to get my message out there to the millions. And I'm going to break it down for you today. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to I Made a Podcast. My name is Chris Curry. Thank you for tuning in today. Now, today in this episode, I'm going to break down some of the things that you need to get if you're just getting into podcasting right now in 2025. It's one of the most effective ways to reach people with your message, and podcasting has been such a great tool that so many people are utilizing for their business, for their personal brand, for whatever it is that they're working on, to send that message out there, and people are consuming it at such a staggering rate. Because it's easy to consume podcasts. It's on your phone. You just need to get some headphones and you can listen to it in the car and as you work out, as you're washing the dishes. Podcasting is being consumed by so many people. And if you want to get your message out there to the millions of people who want to listen to what you have to share, podcasting is the way to go. But you need some tools. And I'm going to break these tools down that I use for my podcast so that you can consider them as well for your podcast. Now, for those of you who are just listening to the audio, I'll make sure I put the video up. You can go and check YouTube and you can watch the video as well as I show you some of the things that I'm using here. Now, before I get into this episode, I want to let you know about a free online event that I'm having. It's called the Podcast Lab. And this is the first event that I'm having. It's on July 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so if you want to join this event, the topic is very important to all podcasters, is podcasting SEO. So if you want to learn how to title your podcast to make sure that there are the proper keywords in it so that people can find your show, if you want to learn how to optimize the episode titles so that when people search for specific things, they'll find your episodes of your podcast, and the description of your podcast as well. Those three areas are very key when it comes to SEO for podcasting. And I have an expert who's coming in to share on July 22nd all of the tips for you for free. All you need to do is register for the class, and there's a link down below, and you can click the link, register, and then we'll send you the Zoom link so that you can join this free class to learn about podcasting SEO, because the people out there are looking for you. They're looking for your message, but they might not find it if you don't know how to properly structure your podcast title, your episode title, and your description. So let's learn how to do that so that people can find you. And I use some of these tactics already, and it has worked for me. So make sure that you join. Link is in the description to register for that online class. And if you're watching this video past July 22nd, no worries, go in the description and register still. What will happen is I will send you the recording of the Podcast Lab with this course on SEO for podcasters. All right, so let's get into this gear now. I know you see it sitting on the table here, and you're probably excited for me to get in to talk to you about how it works and how I use it. First thing let's talk about is the audio. The audio is very important. Actually, scratch that. The first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is about your energy levels. Yes, your energy levels, which is not a tool, a practical tool that you could touch like this, but it is a very important tool that you have in your toolbox when you are podcasting. If your energy levels are low and you can't get the excitement up to share your message into a microphone or into a camera, then you shouldn't be podcasting. But if you are passionate about something and your energy levels peak when you talk about it, that is an indication that your energy levels are good and that you have a message that you want to share to other people, and you are delivering it in a way that will reach out to the people who are listening and connect with them. Your energy levels have to be at 150%. I've said that so many times on this podcast. So make sure that before you start your podcast, that you hype yourself up, get a hype man or be your own hype man, and get yourself hyped up to deliver your message so that you can make a better connection with the people that are on the other side of the microphone, on the other side of the camera, those who are listening and watching, okay? That is tip number one. That is the I don't even know. That is the most important thing that I can say to you about podcasting. Get your energy levels up. So now let's get into these tools. First of all, let's get into the audio. This is one of my favorite mics here. It is the Rode Pod mic, and I've used this mic for maybe about a year and a half now. And since I got it, it has been great. It is a dynamic microphone. So what that means is, to break it down in simple terms, it's capturing more of my voice and less of the room noise. So if you're in a room that to podcast and the room is echoey or a little bit has ambient noises around it, this microphone will do a good job just focusing in on capturing your voice as you speak. Okay, so this is called a dynamic microphone. Now, before I got this microphone, I had an Audio Technica microphone. It's on my home studio, and I don't have it here, but I'll put a little picture of it right up on the screen right there. Now, this microphone is not a dynamic microphone, but I did use it for maybe about 5 years before I switched to these mics. It's Audio Technica microphone. That microphone is about $120 Canadian, of course, because I'm Canadian. This microphone, the Rode Pod mic, goes for about $150, but it's absolutely worth it. Now, if you don't want to spend that much money, or if your podcast is a little bit more mobile where you go different places to record people, you can try one of these. Now, this is just a lavalier microphone. Now, honestly, I was just trying. Honestly, I was just trying this out. I saw it on Amazon, and I said, "Hey, let me just test this out and see how it works." And I've used this a couple times, and it actually works pretty good. Let me do a little test for you right now. Let me switch this over here. The record button there. Now I'm talking from this mic. I'll turn off this one, and now you are hearing me speaking from this mic. So you can hear the audio quality is not as good as the Rode Pod mic, but it's still acceptable if you want to use this to start your podcast. And these microphones they clip onto your shirt, and you get the adapter for your phones, or can plug straight into your computer through USB. But it's really it's not expensive. It's about 30 something dollars. So if you want to start with something like this, and if you're pleased with the quality that it will give you, what you're hearing right now from my computer, then go ahead and get it. So this is one of those lavalier microphones. But I would encourage you to go and read the reviews, because there's a lot of these online, and you want to get one that works properly for you. So go read the reviews, see what other people are saying, and it's $30, inexpensive. To me, it was worth the risk to take it, to try it, and see how it works. Okay. All right. Now, if you were using one of these mics, the Rode Pod mic, it requires an XLR connection, which is the cord that the microphone is connected to. These cords are about $10, depending on how long you want it, right? It can range up to like $20 or $30 even. But these are important if you're going to get one of these microphones that have an XLR connection. And one of the other things that you're going to need is a microphone stand. Now, you can use one like this that goes onto the floor, like I have here, because I use it here in the studio with the chairs behind me, when we're sitting doing episodes for other people as well. But this is one that you're going to need. Or you can get one of these desk stands that you just put it on your desk here, and you can screw the microphone in on the top of it like that. They're very inexpensive. I think these are about $10. Microphone stands like this, maybe about $15, $20. Or you can get one of these microphone boom arms. Now these attach onto like the side of your desk, and you put the microphone on the edge here, and it just can extend in, and you put the microphone there, and that's it. You just wire it up and mount it on the side of your desk, and you're good to go. All right. These are fairly inexpensive as well. Some of them do get quite pricey, but you can get one of these for maybe about $30 off of Amazon or wherever. So shop around and see what you can get. Now, this is all pertaining to the audio portion of your podcast. Okay. So these are things that you might need if you're going to hold your microphone. Now, as the microphone is plugged into the XLR cable, it goes into something called an interface. Now, right here, I don't want to move it too much because I'm using it right now to record, but this is the Zoom P4. Now, I got this maybe about a year ago, and it has been great. Now, the thing about this one is it is portable. It can run on batteries. It has an SD card slot in the side of this unit, so you can put your SD card in there, and you can record your podcast directly to this device. So it's very portable. You can put batteries in the back. You have controls here that you can adjust the levels of the microphones, and you have inputs for up to 4 microphones. This is a game changer for podcasting. I love it. Now, in addition to being able to record directly into this unit, you can actually connect it to your computer and use it as an interface where you can get the audio signal from your mic into this unit, and it converts it to a digital signal into your computer. So that's one of the uses through this. Or you can just record it directly into the SD slot at the side of the unit here. Again, this is called the Zoom P4. Okay, really, there's a lot of more features in it, and I don't have time to go into all of it, but this is a really good tool if you want to get it to used as an interface for your podcast, or if you want to use it as a recorder for your podcast. You can take it anywhere you go. You just put batteries in it, and you can go. And you could also plug it into the wall or through the USB ports here to the side there, and you could use it using DC power plugged into the wall. So that's it for the audio portion. Now, let's move on to the video portion, right? So a lot of people who are starting podcasts today, they're doing audio only, but you need to have some element of video. I'm sorry for those who don't like to be on camera, but you're going to have to do it. If not the entire video, at least to make some short form content that you can post on social media. So when it comes to video, what I decided to go with is this camera right here. It's called the Sony ZV-E10. They have a lot of cameras. I just want to make sure I got the name right. So it's Sony ZV-E10. That's what this camera is right here. Now, I got this camera for a few reasons. Number one, there is no limit when it comes to recording. The only limit is the size of the memory and the battery life. Okay, so those are the only limits that will limit you when you get a camera like this. And what I have is the kit lens on it. Now, there are a million lenses that you can get for cameras, and I'm not telling you this, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole to get you guys to thinking that you need to get a whole bunch of camera lenses and things like that. Yes, a good lens will make a difference with your podcast, but what I would suggest is if you're just starting out, just use the kit lens that comes with the camera. And once you use that and become very good at using the camera with the kit lens, if you have some money, you can then invest into a nicer lens. But get the Sony ZV-E10, no limits when it comes to recording. What you can do also is get a dummy battery, and you can plug in the dummy battery and it plugs into the wall, so you don't have to worry about your battery running out, and get a tripod for it that you can mount it. I have one of these brackets at the bottom here because I have multiple cameras and they all have the same bracket, so I can just interchange them really quickly. Get one of these brackets that you can just quickly add it onto your tripod and quickly take it off. And this is what I use for my camera setup. This is a really good camera. And again, there's so much that I can go into with this camera, but then this video is going to be like 45, maybe an hour long, and I don't want to be that long here on this video. If you are just starting out, the ZV-E10 is about $1,100 Canadian, again, because I'm in Canada. So if this is a little too much out of your price range, what you can try to get is one like this, which is the Logitech C920, I believe. It's a 1080p webcam that you just put on the top of your computer, and you can just plug it straight into your computer through USB. This runs you maybe about, I think, $180, but it is a very good camera. I'll put some footage of me using this camera in from my home studio so that you can see the quality, but it is very good and it's very portable. You can just take it, put it in your bag if you have a traveling podcast, and you can use this camera to capture really good video for your podcast. Now, the other element of video that you need to make sure that you are optimizing, that you get, is the lighting. I have a light up here. Now, it's probably not the best light in terms of name brand, but it does the job. And it's back here too. Let me just go get it. Hold on a second. So this light is called, the brand of this light is called Great Video Maker. Now, I just went out onto Amazon and I got a light. I read the reviews and they said that this light did a great job. The important thing about this light that I want to point out to you now, when you are trying your best to get good lighting for your podcast, you want to make sure that you can control the light that you have in your room, okay? So the regular yellow warm color lights in your room may not give the best video quality for people listening. But with this light system, you can actually adjust the light temperature, the Kelvin, to make it look like daytime light. So daytime light is about 5200 Kelvin, and you can also adjust the intensity of the light as well if you need to make it a little brighter or a little dimmer, so that you can match the settings of your camera, so that the pictures come across perfectly and the colors come across good. Okay, so that is just one of the things to look for when you are getting a camera. I don't know if you can see it here, but I'll take a picture and put it up there as a screenshot. But it has two knobs here that you can click on in order to turn and adjust the settings for the Kelvin and the intensity, which is very important when it comes to lighting. All right, leave that there for now. Now, one of the final things that I'm going to mention in terms of gear, physical gear, is this right here. These are headphones. Now, you probably may be thinking, Chris, those look like really inexpensive wired headphones, and that's exactly what they are. Okay, they're not Bluetooth headphones, they're not, any of these fancy headphones. These are just wired earbuds. Now, this is important. My preference is to have some sort of headphones that you can hide and you don't see it all the time. So that's why I decide to use headphones like this. And they are wired because if you get Bluetooth headphones, you have to be careful for the latency. And what latency is a delay from when the sound is actually produced to when you actually hear it. And depending on the frequency of the Bluetooth speakers or headphones that you're using, there might be a delay. So that's why if you use wired headphones to start, something like this, inexpensive, is about $10. You can get something like this and you'll be able to hear what's going on in your podcast and adjust it if you need to make any level changes or anything with the sound. Now, all of this is good. These are all things that you need, all of the physical gear that you need to start a podcast right now in 2025. But you also need software. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So if you're doing a video podcast, you're going to need some editing equipment, some editing software. One of the ones that I recommend is DaVinci Resolve. It's free, right? You could just join online, download it onto your computer, and you can use it right away. Now, there is a learning curve with DaVinci Resolve, but there's a learning curve with all of these software. So just take your time and learn the basics. Watch some online tutorials that will give you the step-by-step on how to use these programs. But DaVinci Resolve is one of the good ones that you can try out for free, and you can use it and actually start to produce some content and get it out there to the world. Now, the other one that people use, but I know that a lot of people are moving away from this one now, is CapCut. It was free, or there was a lot of free things part of it, but now you need to pay, I think it's about $13 for the pro account in order to export your final versions of whatever it is that you're producing. So a lot of people are kind of moving away from that now because they're trying to, get money from us. But it was free. Now they're changing it to a paid, but it's still a very effective tool that you can use for your podcast. That's CapCut. And if you are just doing an audio only podcast, you can use a tool that, again, is free. It's called Audacity. Now, Audacity is free online podcasting software. You just go onto their website and you can download the software onto your computer, and you'll be able to use it right away to record your podcast, to edit your podcast. You could import music and do all of those things in Audacity. It's a really good tool, and I recommend it to anyone else who's starting their podcast and want to test out some of these free options before sinking money into like a paid option for their podcast. Now, for all of the software that I mentioned, one of the key things that you need to remember is to check your computer and the system requirements for it to run these programs successfully. Now, a lot of the programs that are out there require a certain level of RAM on your computer, a certain memory size, and all these other things. So go and look at the specifications that each one of these programs require in order for it to run successfully on your computer, and see if your computer has the capability to run these softwares. Okay, so that's very important. And if you do need to get a new computer to run some of these softwares, then I guess you need to get a new computer. But again, look at the requirements before you start to get any of these programs so that you can make sure that it will work on your computer. Now, one of the key things that I think is important is being able to share your message on social media. As I said in the beginning, you might not want to have a video podcast, but it is necessary nowadays in order to share the message on social media, to get the message and get your word out there in short form clips, to have some sort of video element. Now, there are some ways around this. One of the tools that I use right now is Headliner. Headliner is an app that you can download on your phone, and what it will do is it will create an audiogram, so a static image of your podcast cover artwork or whatever it is, the images, and it will give the audio over that image and put it in a video for you that you can share it on social media. That's called Headliner. And the other tool that you can use is called Quazo.ai. They recently changed their name and I couldn't remember. They used to be called Video.ai, but they renamed it to Quazo.ai. I had to look on my notes here for that. But this tool is one that you can take your video podcast, and you can upload it into this tool, and their AI scans the entire episode from start to finish, and it cuts it up into various portions, into short form clips that you can take, add captions, and it gives you a title that you can have, and it also gives you a virality score to show you where it levels, where it meets on a level of 1 to 100, right? So 100 meaning good, 0 meaning it's bad. All right, so that is Quazo.ai. Now, I'm going to put links for all of these things down below. Actually, I do have a cheat sheet with a lot of these tools on that cheat sheet. So if you want to download it, you can get it from the link in the description. And that's it for this episode. These are all the things that you need to do and get if you are starting your podcast today in 2025. Remember my podcasting training coming up about podcasting SEO. You need to learn about that if you want to help your podcast be found by the right people. And also next week is the finale of season number 2, where I'm releasing all of the things that I learned from all of the top podcasters from season number 2 of I Made a Podcast. Remember, the best time to start a podcast was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. So go ahead and make it happen. And I'll see you next week. Peace. Oh, one other thing before I go, I almost forgot. I am looking in season number 3 to work with someone out there, one of you influencers who have a following already, but you don't have a podcast. I want to work with you to start your podcast in season number 3. If you want to be on I Made a Podcast, and we'll walk through the process of how to start a podcast, and I will do it live with you on I Made a Podcast in every single episode, and we'll go from generating the idea to doing all the technical stuff and the setup and making sure all of the gear is set up right for you, and the recording, the editing, and we'll have that as my podcast episodes for season number 3. And then at the end of all of this, you're going to have a podcast and you'll be able to know exactly what to do to carry your podcast forward, because I'll be walking you through the process through this new thing that I'm doing in season number 3 of I Made a Podcast. So if you are interested in being on this podcast as we start your podcast, there's a link down below. Put your information and I'll reach out to you, and then we can talk and figure something out, okay? So I'm only doing this with maybe 1 or 2 people for season number 3. So the link is below if you're interested in joining, and if you have a message that you want to share and you want me to help you get it out, okay? Links down below. Peace.